Welcome everyone. It is almost the end of 2020 and we are starting to see new arcade sticks coming out. And one of them I have here is the new 8BitDo arcade stick. 8BitDo has made arcade sticks in the past. This is their latest model with a brand new redesign. So in this video we are going to unbox it, review it, and test it out on many different games to see what this arcade stick is all about. Let's begin. Starting with the box, let me show you a 360 angle of the box design. Like if you're at a store picking up a product and rotating it around to read more information about a product. Feel free to slow down and pause the video if you want to. It is made by the company called 8BitDo and it is simply just called the 8BitDo arcade stick. Here is the picture. This arcade stick supports two wireless connections, Bluetooth and 2.4G. Now let's take a look at the left side. There's no information. And on the right side, there's no information. On the bottom, there's no information. Take a look at the top. It is the handle. Now let's turn to the back. This arcade stick is compatible with the Nintendo Switch, Windows, Steam, and Raspberry Pi. And underneath is the system requirement in case if you need those information. But down here it is a blueprint diagram with labeling and the button layouts and another picture. Overall, I think the box is nicely designed. Now let's open it. Here we go, let's unbox this. Here's a little pull tab right here. And then it just opens like any other arcade stick. It's been a while since I unboxed a arcade stick because there's no new arcade sticks coming out that much until recently. So let's take this out. The packaging is very similar to any other arcade stick with two foams like that. And let's take off the foam. First thing we notice is we have the paperwork. And the next thing we have, it is a cable. This is a USB-A to USB-C cable. The good thing about these cable is that it's universal. So we're starting to see a lot of companies use these cable, which is really good. Because if your cable breaks or you lost your cable, you can easily just find a replacement. Because back then a lot of arcade sticks has a special cable for the arcade stick. So once you lose that cable, sometimes the company don't sell that cable. So these are really good. So right out of the box, you can tell that they're going with the Nintendo NES style design. I think it looks really good. It gives you that retro and classic look to it. The second thing you're gonna notice is the weight of the arcade stick. It feels much heavier than it looks. It looks like a pretty small arcade stick, but it feels very heavy. The website says it's a little bit over 4 pounds, but it feels much heavier than 4 pounds. Let's quickly go over the button layouts. I really like how they went with this type of rotating control knobs instead of regular buttons. It gives it a very unique look to the arcade stick, especially with this color choice. The first knob we have is the on and off switch, but it also is a toggle between switch mode and X input for the computers. Also, the cool thing about this arcade stick is that when you go on switch mode, the labeling for the buttons will change depending on if you're on switch or X input. So that is really cool. And also I want to say that the quality of these knobs are really good. If you can hear the click, they're very solid. I really like the quality of these knobs. The second knob over here is the LS, DP, and RS, which stands for left stick, D-pad, and right stick. Basically, like depending on what games you play, maybe racing game, maybe RPG or story mode game, or shooting game, you basically have the option to turn the lever, the joystick lever, into the D-pad, the left stick, or the right stick. So that's what that is, okay? So depending on different games, you might want to put that on different settings. But if you're playing fighting game, it is always recommended to put it in DP for D-pad. All right, moving on. The green Wi-Fi symbol button is the pairing button. So when you're trying to pair Bluetooth to different devices, you will be holding down this pair button. The yellow star button here, it is the turbo button. Turbo is when you assign a button to turbo, the arcade stick will act as the button is continuously being pressed. And the blue heart symbol button is the home button. It's interesting why they went with a heart instead of like a, usually a home button they use a house or like a home symbol, but it looks very cute. And over here we have two bigger buttons that's labeled P1 and P2. These are actually not player 1 or player 2 buttons. If I have to take a guess, I think they stand for program. So program 1 and program 2 buttons. So basically there's going to be a software that on their website that you can download to program inputs onto these buttons. So you can assign, like, let's say a fireball for one button, and then you can assign, let's say, a spin kick for one button. But I'll show you guys in a bit. Coming down here, these 4 dots are going to be your LED lights. They will blink or they will spin depending on what you're doing. And the next button here is a toggle between Bluetooth and 2.4G. Okay, so depending on what you want to use, you want to be going into that setting. And speaking of 2.4G, it should come with a receiver on the back of the arcade stick. It looks like there's a little door that opens up, and there we have a Bluetooth receiver. Does it focus? Okay. And I really like how they like hide it in here, and it goes, it's very cute. And if you're wondering what 2.4G is, 2.4G is basically very similar to Bluetooth. It's just a different type of wireless connection. 2.4G, instead of just pairing it to a device, 2.4G usually comes with a receiver. And usually in like higher level or more professional gaming equipments or accessories, like if you look on SteelSeries or the higher end Logitech or the Razer's accessories, the keyboards, the headphones, and the mouse, you usually see 2.4G over Bluetooth, because they say 2.4G offers less latency and faster response time, and it is less vulnerable to what's that called, interference, because you're only, basically the arcade stick is only talking to the receiver. So that's why it offers that more reliable connection. The next button here is your select button, and the next button over will be the start button. These buttons are more regular buttons, but they do feel pretty nice. Right out of the box, I think these buttons and the lever feels pretty good in terms of just like moving it and pressing it without connecting to a game. It feels pretty nice. It feels nicer than a lot of arcade sticks I have tried, like stock factory button that comes with the arcade stick. But we really have to like test it out with games in order to see how these buttons and lever performs. And the bottom, I really like how they use plastic instead of metal, because with metal, over time, moisture and sweat would kind of mess up the metal on the bottom. So I like how they use plastic for this arcade stick, and it also goes well with the overall design of the arcade stick. Now let's open up the arcade stick and see how it looks inside. And the first thing you're going to notice that is the arcade stick uses a different types of screw. This is not a regular Phillips or flathead screw. This is a T10 screw. It's very strange that 8BitDo decided to go with a less common screw. So you will have to purchase a T10 screwdriver because it's not that common. A lot of people don't have this type of screwdriver at home. And when you look for this type of screwdriver, make sure you get one that is very slim, because you may have a whole set of tools at home, but those bits are usually very big and it will not fit inside the opening. Now let's see how do we open this thing. Basically use your fingernails and just slowly lift. It's actually very easy to open, and you're gonna notice it's very heavy. And when you're opening an arcade stick for the first time, double check. Don't just lift too hard. Make sure you check if there's anything attached to it. So as you can see, it looks like there is a cable that's attached to it. This is the part where you charge the arcade stick. So there's a wire going to the charging port. So we can easily just remove that. So it looks like all the weight is on the bottom. As you can see, there is a few metal plates on the bottom. This is the top part. The joystick lever, the buttons, the circuit boards, all the wirings is on the top. And this part is actually very light. Let me give you guys a better angle of the inside. On a quick look here, you can see that the lever and the button is not your typical Sanwa, Shimizu, or Hayabusa parts. These are just basic factory stock parts. Let's start with the buttons. The buttons it looks like plug and play. Very simple. You just want to unplug and then unplug, and then you see the side tab. You want to just pinch, and then it comes right off. And then you want to just put in you want to line up the tabs, and it clicks right in, and you plug it back in. There you go. That's how you switch one button. Now let's take a look at the lever. By default, you can see this is a square gate, and if you look at the top, right, bottom, and left side of the lever, you don't see a 5-pin connector like you normally see on other joystick lever. And you also don't see a 5-pin cable coming from the circuit board, right? For you to connect a joystick lever with a 5-pin connection. What we do see is 8 wires coming to the lever being soldered onto 8 connectors. So those 8 wires, 4 of them is direction, up, down, left, right, and 4 of them are ground wires. So they are soldered or shouldered onto the lever. Judging from what I'm seeing, there is a few ways to do it. One way is you can cut all 8 wires and connect them or solder them to a lever of your choice that has 8 connectors. So if you have a lever that has a 5-pin connection, this method is not going to work. You will have to find a lever that has 8 connections. Another method is you can somehow connect these 8 wires to a 5-pin connection. That way you will still use the same port and then connect it to a 5-pin wire, and then you can connect your 5-pin lever like normally. Okay, and number 3, which I think is going to be the best way, is that 8BitDo actually set you up for success. If you look closer over here, there are 5 connections. Ground, left, right, down, and up. 5 connections for you to solder a 5-pin connection cable to the circuit board. So you would have to remove this cable, like take it out like that, and then you will solder this to the 5 connections here, and then you will have a 5-pin connection cable coming out for your lever of your choice that has a 5-pin connection. But I am going to make a step-by-step tutorial guide to show you guys how to do it. because this video I think is already going to be too long. Now I'm going to show you the macro feature, P1 and P2 button. First, you want to go to 8BitDo official website and download their ultimate software, and now we open it. It says connect USB to your PC or Mac. I'm using a Mac right now, but it's the same procedure. So we'll connect the USB. And for Mac, I believe you have to turn it to the switch side, and for Windows, you have to switch it to X input. So I'm going to do it to the switch side, and it should come up. Yep. And right now we're under mapping. We're not going to focus on here much because it just lets you remap your buttons to your liking. Like you press here, you can actually just change it. We're going to focus on the macro part. I'll let you explore this on your own. And we're going to go to macros. And once you're on macros, you can see that this is your joystick lever with your directions up, down, left, right, and things like that. And over here, do not assume that the top row is punch, and don't assume that bottom row is kick. You want to reference to this picture. So A is not light punch, okay? It's actually Y. So if you're not familiar or kind of not sure, reference the pictures when you're using this, okay? So now you want to go to the plus sign here, and then let's select P1, and let's make it simple. Let's make P1 just a fireball. And you have to choose left side or right side. So we're gonna choose player 1 side on the left. So we have to go that way, right? So we choose down, add, down, forward. You want to press the button, forward, and it makes you think A is a light punch, right? But it's not. You have to reference this picture. So we have to choose Y. Okay, we're gonna do it like a light punch fireball, and add. So it's a quarter circle Y, which is quarter circle light punch, and then you want to enter. And then it's telling you to sync to controller, but we're not done, so we'll do it later. So now you want to go back to the plus sign, and P2 is available. So this time we're going to do, let's say, a super. Same thing. Super for Ken. Down, down, forward, forward. Let's do it again. Down, down, forward, forward. And we're going to go with light kick, which is not L, okay? You have to reference the picture. It's going to be B. B is at where normally your light kick is. So we're going to go to B and add, and then you want to hit enter. So now we have added two macro shortcuts to our buttons. Now you want to sync, press the sync to controller, and default name you can put anything. Let's just make it Street Fighter 3rd. Create, and now it's sync, it's finished. Now let me show you guys. Now I'm gonna unplug this, and we're gonna go in here. Is it shown? Let's go to Ken. We need the 3rd super, and pick Ryu. Any super is okay. And because we're going to plug it in natively, we need an adapter. Whoop. And we're going to plug it into the bottom. It should recognize it because I'm using a, there you go. Alright, so let's see. Light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, and heavy kick, right? So now this is the moment. We're gonna test out if P1 works as a fireball. It does. So now we have a 1-button shortcut for a fireball. Now let's test P2. We set as super. So let's see. There we go. As you can see, we have a 1-button super. Look, pretty interesting, right? So let's grab him. But keep in mind, guys, when you're doing macro, because the input was going this way, now we're on the right. the input is not correct no more, right? So it should not work. Look, you see? Now it's just a regular light punch. P2, now it becomes a spin cake because we were doing a double quarter circle that way, which makes sense. So keep in mind, guys, when you're on different side, your macros will change depending on what the input and command is. All right. So let me turn this off. And last thing I want to remind you before I move on is, even though there is macro buttons here, I recommend that you don't rely on it too much. You want to be able to know everything manually, and it's going to help you improve in the long run. Now I'm going to show you how to connect your arcade stick to your Nintendo Switch using Bluetooth. First, you want to make sure the toggle switch is on the left, which is Bluetooth. Second, you want to come to the first control knob and turn on the arcade stick to the left side, which is switch mode. And then you see the LED turns on. Next, you want to go to your switch and under controller settings and under change grip and order, you want to go to the pair button and hold it down and wait until you see the light spinning. As soon as you see it spinning, you can let go, and now it's searching. Now it's pairing, and now you see that it's paired, and you see the battery percentage, and now we're good to go. And now we are paired. It is working. Now I'm going to show you how to connect your arcade stick to your Nintendo Switch using 2.4G. And natively, we know that you cannot plug a USB-A to a Nintendo Switch because the Nintendo Switch is USB-C on the bottom. So what you will need is a USB-A to USB-C adapter, and you want to plug in your receiver into the adapter and then plug the adapter into the bottom of the Nintendo Switch. Then you want to make sure the toggle switch is on the right side, 2.4G. You want to turn on the controller to the left side, switch mode, the blinking light on, and now under controller and then find controller, you should be able to see a controller, or they should be able to connect automatically. But if you don't see this light up, you want to go back and you want to go to settings, and then you want to go all the way down to controllers and sensors. Under Pro Controller Wire Communication, you want to make sure that is turned on. As soon as you turn on, you want to go back to the controller, and then under controller, you see the controller now is light up and now is connected. And let's test that out. There we go. Now it's working. If you don't have a USB-C adapter handy, you can always plug it into the dock directly and play it on your TV. And lastly, you can always connect by wires. And you just want to take the same USB-C adapter and then connect it to your Nintendo Switch. Alright, turn it on to switch mode. At this point, it doesn't matter if it's on Bluetooth or 2.4G, you can just leave it anywhere. And then you want to go under controller settings, under controller, find controller. There we go, it connects seamlessly. Now let me show you. There we go. Now we're going to connect your arcade stick to your Windows computer via Bluetooth. You want to make sure the first button is turned to X input. You want to make sure this button is on Bluetooth mode. You want to hold down on the pair button and wait until you see the light spinning. Under Bluetooth settings, you want to turn on Bluetooth and then add Bluetooth devices and then add Bluetooth, and it's going to show up 8BitDo arcade stick. You want to press on it, connecting. There you go, your device is ready to go. Now we're going to connect the arcade stick to the Windows computer. You want to make sure you turn on the arcade stick to the right side, X input. You want to make sure this button is on the right side, 2.4G. And now you want to take your receiver and plug it into your arcade stick. And you should automatically see a controller connecting to your computer. That is it, super easy. And lastly, if you want to connect your arcade stick using a wire to the Windows computer, simply just plug it in and then turn it on to X input. That should be it. Something should pop up and then you're good to go. Alright guys, right now we are on a wireless connection. We're on Bluetooth to give you a sense of how well it works on a Bluetooth connection. That way you can be the judge and see how well it works if you plan to play on Bluetooth. Clap. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. I'm going to give you a second example of Bluetooth on a different game so you get a better sense of how Bluetooth connectivity is. Hiya! Dive kick, dive kick, dive kick. Oh, he got me. Hiya! Hiya! Oh, command grab. Hiya, 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 hiya. Oh. Alright. Right now we're on 2.4G wireless connection to give you a better sense of how well it works on a wireless connection. This game was ahead of its time. Heavy punch, heavy kick, heavy kick, heavy kick. Medium punch, medium punch, medium kick, medium kick. Oh, super. Nice. Oh, he got me. Super. Oh, kick, kick, super, teleport. Not bad on 2.4G. As you can see, pretty smooth. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, got a kiss. This is a arcade stick on a wire connection to the Windows PC test, so you can get a sense of the connection. Button check, button check, button check, button check. Fireball, 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 light kick. So far so good. Fireball. Alright. Medium kick, light kick. Don't jump, don't jump. Oh. So far, I don't feel any delay on the wire connection. Right now, we're still on wire mode. And before I wrap this up, I just want to share a few more things with you. I bought this arcade stick since day one. And everything works like it's supposed to. The Bluetooth, the 2.4G, the wire mode, all connect seamlessly. So far, I haven't had any issues with this arcade stick. This is a wireless arcade stick, or I should say it can be wire or wireless. You can Now just sit back, relax on your sofa and just play and enjoy your favorite beat 'em up, RPG and retro games wirelessly. If you are playing fighting game, I always recommend using a wire just in case of any interferences. Let's see. But as you can see, this is on wire mode. Everything works pretty smooth. And for those who are brand new to fighting game or arcade stick, I think this arcade stick has pretty much everything that you need to get started. And with the thing with entry-level arcade sticks or any okay arcade stick, they can actually take you pretty far. You just have to put in some time and practice. This arcade stick now is one of my favorite sticks to recommend for under $100. I will leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. And what else can I show? So in conclusion, what do I think about this arcade stick? I have been using it for almost 1 month and on many different games and over many hours. First, let's talk about the negatives. This arcade stick uses T10 screws instead of the traditional, more common Phillips screws or flathead screws. But it is not a big deal because you can easily just find a T10 screwdriver in most hardware stores for under $5. Number two is that you cannot swap out the joystick lever easily. I wish that they have given us an easier plug and play option for the joystick lever. So the website says this arcade stick is ultra moddable. I would say it is ultra moddable, the fact that you can swap out the lever and the buttons and things like that, but it is not easily ultra moddable. Right out of the box, how does the joystick lever and the buttons perform? They're pretty good. I would put them above average. They feel better than the basic $40 to $50, $60 range arcade sticks, but they're still not as good as your tournament grade parts such as Sanwa, Seimitsu, Hayabusa, Korean parts, Gamer Fingers, and other brand name parts. Overall, I do like this arcade stick. The design, the build quality, and all the effort and detail they put into this arcade stick. They didn't just take a basic generic template or a existing design and just slap their logo or branding on it. It looks like and it feels like they actually designed this from scratch and created something different. So I'm definitely impressed. This is the type of product that makes us players excited. This is the type of product that us players want to see. So I look forward to their future arcade sticks. Would I recommend this arcade stick? Yes. For everything that you get, this is an excellent entry-level arcade stick out of the box. And the price is very reasonable. For casual players who don't want to spend too much, this is an excellent option. And later on, if you do decide to get more serious, you do have the option to upgrade the arcade stick, the lever, and the buttons. And lastly, I just want to say thank you for watching this long review. I hope this video answers some of the questions that you may have. Like, comment, subscribe is always helpful for a small channel. I'll see you on the next video.